I've made some changes in the portfolio and today I wanted to share them with you. So in this video, we're going to talk about the new addition to the portfolio as well as some of the things that I'm thinking about changing. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Waj and we're back with the 0 to 6 figure portfolio series. We're kind of stable again, especially because the market did drop again. You can see Bitcoin over the last week or so did put in some red candles. We did actually go as low as 52k and now we're back in kind of this no man's land again. We were in this range back from March, chop, then kind of downtrend, and now since the start of August we for the last 1 month have just been pretty much at the exact same point, going up a little bit but then obviously coming all the way back down. Ultimately, because Bitcoin's been continuously bleeding or not performing as well as it could be, altcoins have been getting absolutely wrecked again, and that's why the portfolio is down over the last 6 months by $15,000. We're about 35% down from all-time high, maybe even a little bit more actually. I think actually all-time high was a little bit higher than that, probably let's say closer to 40% down, which is quite a lot, but you know, that's the state of the market. Hey, I think some people might even be a little bit more down as well. I think the one thing that's protected me, having a little bit of stable coins, having some ETH as well. But you'll notice in the portfolio, as you're looking right now, we finally have the orange coin. Bitcoin is finally in the portfolio, and what I have done is I did actually cut some of the ETH, the extra ETH that I had, and basically converted it into Bitcoin, and I'll kind of explain why I did that. You can see I am actually down. I did do it when Bitcoin was around $60,000, but ETH was definitely more expensive back then as well. So, I mean, I think ultimately it's worked out relatively well because ETH BTC is actually a little bit lower than where I sold it off. Either way, I have some Bitcoin, and you might be wondering, why on earth do you have some Bitcoin? Well, now at the moment, I think with Bitcoin, there's some really good DeFi opportunities, and I think I'm able to possibly double my Bitcoin stack from some of the different airdrop opportunities that are currently available. And I will have a video on this probably out in the next couple of days, highlighting some of these different opportunities. For those who are watching right now, I'll give you a little sneak peek. Some of them involve Babylon, which you can kind of get exposure to through Lombard, essentially farming 2 airdrops in one there. The other one is something like eBTC, which is EtherFi's new Bitcoin LRT, which farms, I believe, 7 airdrops in one. And you can do some cool stuff, whether it's using the yield token or kind of buying something like the principal token. Yeah, the choice is up to you. Or you can do something where you can kind of pool it and earn 16%, up to 16%. Either way, I think right now in general, there's some pretty good Bitcoin opportunities. And that's kind of why I decided to add some Bitcoin. I think especially after Eigenlayer comes out, which I believe is going to be in about 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, I possibly will convert more of the ETH into Bitcoin if there are better opportunities for me to use Bitcoin with. So I'll decide. Perhaps I'll have both. I think it's good to have a little bit of stability with Bitcoin. I think ETH has generally been an underperformer. It's been the XRP of this cycle, you could say. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely not had the best of luck with ETH, but thankfully, because of the different farming opportunities, the airdrops, and of course the fact that I was able to buy ETH fairly cheaply, at least I'm still up a little bit on it. Otherwise, if we look at the portfolio, there will be one more coin that you have not seen before, and that is Timeless. So we'll talk about that in a moment. The other thing that I wanted to talk about were these 2 coins in the middle, Cloud and Dinero. And Dinero has been getting absolutely slapped up. It is not performing well, other than yesterday. But I think I still have quite a lot of conviction in it. And I guess one of the reasons is just a few days ago, they introduced branded LSTs. And essentially what Dinero are going to do with their PXETH is essentially offer all of these other layer 1s or layer 2s, I should say, these Ethereum based layer 2s, their own branded LST, which on the back end is just going to be PXETH. And so I think this is going to really help to grow the TVL significantly. They already have announced some deals already with the likes of Movement, and just yesterday announced Say as well. So Sei have got Super Saiyan ETH. This is basically like Sei's native ETH LST. And of course, it's powered by Dinero through APX ETH. And so I think they're going to have movement, Sei, probably will have Chain, and probably will have mode. And I think at the moment they're talking with 15 different layer 2s. And so if there's 15 different ETH kind of LSTs, all from different chains in their own native branding, I think that's really going to help to skyrocket TVL. That ultimately results in more fees, and I think that's going to be very bullish for Dinero. And so that's why I'm not doing anything with this position. At one point, this position was probably double in price. So yeah, you could say that, I'm actually, the opportunity cost has been pretty bad so far. But, explaining my conviction that I think this is that's my thesis essentially at the moment. And of course, they are offering institution grade ETH staking products. And so I guess you could say that this is a little bit of a proxy to ETH. I think if ETH continues to grow, then Dinero will, in general, do very, very well as well. Cloud gives me some exposure to Solana. And just like Dinero, they also offer branded LSTs. And one of the big ones that I'm seeing right now is with Binance. Binance looking to create BN Sol. This was just a few days ago. And I think this tells us everything really about the possible collaboration that we have here. Binance will have a Solana LST, which is run by Sanctum. I think that's, again, great. I think that means TVL is going to go up a lot. And we're also seeing Bybit. Bybit have announced BB Sol, again another LST there. I think you've got BitGet as well. You've got three of them: Bybit, BitGet, and Binance, all offering centralized exchange LSTs. And I think these are three fairly big exchanges as well, especially in the form of Binance and Bybit. And so I think there's massive scale to grow when it comes to TVL there. And I think ultimately, if that happens, then I expect some appreciation in asset price as well. Of course, no financial advice. I could be completely wrong on the thesis there, but that's basically the explanation about what's been happening and why I have it in my portfolio right now. Ultimately, I get good exposure to obviously ETH, Bitcoin, Solana, a bit of DeFi with Dinero, Lit. And we've got some AI as well that we'll talk about in probably a future video. Just to wrap things up for this video, we'll talk about Timeless and we'll talk about Lit. Now, one of the reasons why I'm excited about Timeless or Lit is because of the release of Uni V4. Now, Uni V4 is coming out approximately next month. And so I think that this offers a pretty interesting beta play to Uni V4's launch. Why? Well, if we go to Bunni, which is the actual exchange for the Lit token, it's a DEX that basically maximizes LPs or basically gives them a lot of customizability built on top of Uni V4. And I think if there is a big narrative around Uni V4, then I think this was able to capitalize on it. But you might be wondering, like, what are the crazy features here that make you so interested in it? Well, they've got them all listed here. And essentially, as an LP, and bear in mind that Uniswap has billions of dollars in liquidity, you just have so much more functionality through these different features. So responding to markets while you sleep with shape-shifting liquidity, the liquidity can move if you want to TWAP out or TWAP in. You can kind of have liquidity moving right and left. You might be wondering, look, this already exists on other protocols as well. It exists on Maverick, it exists on Trader Joe. They have like 10 times more market cap than something like Bunni. They also have something that I think is a game changer. This is called rehypothecation. This is essentially basically taking idle liquidity, like idle USDC, chucking it into Aave or Gearbox or other protocols to earn some extra yield for LPs, essentially maximizing idle liquidity. They have MEV protection. They have LVR as well. They have some really, really cool stuff, whether it's with programmability when it comes to liquidity density as well. They do have some more stuff as well, which, maybe I'll cover in a deep dive or maybe I'll cover in some future videos as well. But I think ultimately with all of these new features coming out with Bunni V2, Uni V4 coming out next month, I think those two combining together create a really, really nice narrative, and I think that should hopefully result in some really good price action. I could be wrong, of course, as I mentioned before, but that's pretty much my thesis there. And, you know, you look at something like Lit, it's got an FTV of like 12 million. The competitors are significantly higher. So yeah, I think, you know, Uni is like, you know, how big is Uni, right? Let's have a look. Uniswap is 5 billion, right? It's a pretty big coin. So yeah, I think this is my kind of beta play to it. Maybe it does a 2x, maybe it does a 3x, who knows? But I think, you know, I've got an invalidation as well in my head, and I think if it doesn't do well when it comes to Uni V4, probably will cut the position. But either way, I think this is just kind of how my portfolio is looking at the moment. I am optimistic for end of year, but I think for the rest of this month, it wouldn't surprise me if things go back down again. I mean, if Bitcoin kind of goes back down, or, you know, some people are talking about Bitcoin going into the 40s again. Well, I think if it does, to be honest with you, it wouldn't really surprise me. I think a lot of it is also depending on macro. We're going to see rate cuts probably fairly soon. How is the stock market going to react to it? You know, we're seeing the S&P 500 has a little bit of a pullback, NASDAQ as well, a little bit of a pullback. Will it continue? Will it not? I'm not too sure. But these are just some of the things that I'm thinking about at the moment. And yeah, I thought I'd just share them with you. So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about my portfolio, and what would you change, add, get rid of? Let me know. I'm always interested, and I'll have a nice discussion with you in the comments. But yeah, either way, I'll be back with plenty more videos in the not so distant future.